On one side stood Portugal, a nation carrying the hopes of millions, led by a man who had already conquered almost everything football had to offer.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
On the other side stood Spain, one of the most talented teams in the world, a team filled with stars, a team expected by many to dominate the tournament. The stage was set, the crowd was ready, and nobody knew they were about to witness one of the greatest individual performances in World Cup history. As the players walked onto the pitch, the atmosphere felt electric. Flags waved across the stadium. Supporters sang at the top of their lungs. Television audiences from around the world waited for the referee's whistle. This wasn't just another football match. This was Portugal versus Spain, a rivalry between neighbors, a battle between two footballing giants. And at the center of it all stood Cristiano Ronaldo. The referee blew the whistle. The match had begun. Portugal started aggressively. They looked confident, determined, focused. Only minutes into the game, Ronaldo received the ball and charged toward the Spanish penalty area. Defender Nacho stepped forward. The challenge came. Ronaldo went down. The referee pointed immediately to the penalty spot. Spain protested. The Portuguese fans exploded with excitement. Cristiano Ronaldo picked up the ball. The pressure was enormous. Millions were watching. One mistake could change everything. But Ronaldo had lived under pressure his entire career. He placed the ball carefully, stepped back, took a deep breath, then ran forward. The shot flew into the corner. Goal. Portugal led 1-0. The stadium erupted. Ronaldo sprinted away in celebration. The dream start belonged to Portugal. But Spain were far from finished. The Spanish players responded immediately. Their passing became sharper. Their movement became quicker. Portugal struggled to keep possession. The pressure continued growing. Then Spain found their breakthrough. A dangerous attack moved through midfield. The ball reached Diego Costa. The striker bullied his way through defenders. He twisted, turned, and unleashed a powerful shot. The ball flew into the net. 1-1. The match was alive. Spanish supporters celebrated wildly. Portugal looked frustrated. Everything had changed. Now both teams believed victory was possible. The game became faster, more intense. Every challenge mattered. Every attack felt dangerous. Then Ronaldo stepped forward once again. Receiving the ball outside the box, he saw a small opening. Most players would have passed. Most players would have waited.
Ronaldo chose differently.
He struck the ball. The shot looked harmless at first. Spanish goalkeeper David De Gea prepared for an easy save. Then disaster happened. The ball slipped underneath his hands. It rolled into the net. Goal. Portugal led again. The stadium exploded with disbelief. Even Ronaldo looked surprised. 2 shots. 2 goals.
Portugal 2.
Spain won. As halftime approached, the drama continued. Every attack created danger. Every mistake felt costly. The players walked into the tunnel knowing the match could still go either way. The second half began. Spain emerged with purpose. They looked determined to take control. Their passing became beautiful, quick, precise, relentless. Portugal struggled to keep up. Then came another Spanish attack. A cross entered the penalty area. Chaos followed. The ball bounced perfectly for Diego Costa. He reacted instantly. Goal. 2-2. The Spanish supporters erupted. Costa had scored again. The momentum was shifting. Portugal suddenly looked nervous. Spain sensed weakness. Only minutes later they struck again. A dangerous free kick entered the penalty area. The ball bounced through several players. Portuguese defenders hesitated. The ball eventually reached Nacho, the same player who had conceded the early pen. Now he had a chance for redemption. What happened next stunned the stadium. Nacho struck the ball perfectly. The shot smashed against the post, then into the net. One of the most beautiful goals of the tournament. Spain had completed the comeback. 3-2. For the first time all night, Portugal were behind. The Spanish players celebrated together. The crowd roared. The momentum belonged completely to Spain. Portugal looked exhausted. Their attacks became less dangerous. Their confidence appeared to fade. As the clock ticked down, Spanish supporters began believing victory was close. Minutes continued disappearing. Portugal desperately searched for an equalizer. Spain controlled possession. The Portuguese dream seemed to be slipping away. Then everything changed. Only a few minutes remained. Portugal won a free kick just outside the penalty area. The position was perfect. Dangerous. Exactly the type of moment Cristiano Ronaldo loved. The stadium fell silent. Every eye focused on one man. Ronaldo placed the ball carefully. He stepped backward, measured the distance. The wall stood ready. The goalkeeper adjusted his position. The tension was unbearable. One kick, one opportunity, one moment that could change everything. Ronaldo stared at the goal. The referee blew his whistle. He began his run. The strike was perfect. The ball curled beautifully over the wall, past the goalkeeper, into the top corner. Goal. Absolute perfection. The stadium exploded. Portuguese supporters couldn't believe what they had witnessed. Spanish players stood frozen. The goalkeeper didn't move. He simply watched, just like everyone else. Cristiano Ronaldo had done it again. Hat-trick. 3 goals. One of the greatest performances of his career.
Portugal 3.
Spain 3. The celebration was unforgettable. Ronaldo stood in front of the crowd, arms extended, roaring with emotion, knowing he had saved his nation, knowing he had delivered when Portugal needed him most. When the final whistle arrived, players from both sides collapsed with exhaustion. The scoreboard showed 3 goals each. A draw. But it felt like much more than that. For Spain, it felt like a victory stolen away. For Portugal, it felt like a miracle achieved. And for football fans around the world, it felt like witnessing history. Years later, people would still talk about that night. Not because of the result. Not because of the tournament. But because one player refused to accept defeat. When Portugal needed a hero, Cristiano Ronaldo delivered. Again, and again, and again. The match became one of the defining moments of the World Cup. A reminder that football can produce magic when the biggest stars step onto the biggest stages. And on that night, under the brightest lights, Cristiano Ronaldo reminded the world exactly why he was one of the greatest footballers to ever play the game. Now we want to hear from you. Was this Ronaldo's greatest international performance? Or do you think he had an even better match for Portugal? Tell us in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next football story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next documentary. Soccer Ball Fire Trophy.